Alright, this is question 11 from exercise 11b, our cosine rule exercise. This is a pretty tricky one, I'm not going to lie. This one here, we've got a trapezium. How can I find all of the angles? Find the angles of the trapezium to the nearest degree. And it's really a bit tricky to see where to start, because whatever I do, if I create a right angle triangle, end up with an H and some other variable here, and then if I do one on the other side, I'm going to have a different variable over there, and it gets very tricky. I can find ratios of the angles alpha and beta, or the two bottom angles there, but I can't find what I'm really looking for. What we're going to do, let's start by labeling these sides A, B, C, and D. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce an extra line in here that's going to make it a lot easier. So we've got side AD there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line parallel to that, going from corner B. So didn't want to behave. Let's try that again. Take it there, place it there. That looks roughly parallel, not quite all the way down to the bottom. Let's make sure we get it there. There we go. So that's a parallel line. And AD, this line here, that's pretty badly coloured in. And that line there, B, and let's give it a point BE, are the same length and parallel, so that's 4 centimeters. Now what I've got is a parallelogram. What does that tell me about this 5 centimeter length? It's going to be the same as the distance from D to E, 5 centimeters, which leaves us with 8 minus 5, 3 centimeters left over for C to E. That is going to enable me to find angle C there, isn't it? So my cosine rule, when I've got 3 sides and I'm trying to find the angle, is you take the one that's opposite the angle you're trying to find. So 4 squared, and that's going to equal, what's going to equal 3 squared, plus 6 squared, minus 2 by 3 by 6 cosine angle C. And we can go ahead and simplify this and then rearrange it. So 4 squared is 16. It's going to be 9 plus 36 minus 36 cosine C. And we're nearly there, aren't we? 16 equals 36. 9 is 45 minus 36 cosine C. Subtract 45 from each side. So if I subtracted 16 over there, so that's going to be negative 29 equals negative 36 cosine C. Divide by negative 36, I'm going to have 29 over 36 equals cosine C. And from there, what are we going to do? Of course, the inverse of the cosine function is to find the arc cos. So we go arc cos 29 over 36. And that's going to give me angle C. Well, I better find out what that is. Alright, got my calculator here now. Now, of course, with my one, I've got to make sure that I get in the right angle mode first. It always defaults back to radians. So we go down and we change it into degrees. Now, what did I want to do? I wanted to do the arc cos. Yes, it looks like cos -1, but that's ambiguous, so we just use arc cos when we talk about it. 29 over 36. And that's going to tell me the angle there, 36 to the nearest degree, so 36 degrees. So C is approximately equal to 36 degrees. So there we have the 36 degrees. How do I go ahead and find angle B? Well, of course, it's co-interior with angle C, and we know that those angles are supplementary, so B is going to be 180 degrees minus the 36 degrees. Or B is just 144 degrees. Let's go ahead and look at how we find A and D. And we're going to use pretty much the same technique. So I'll get my drawing tool back out and we'll draw a line. Instead of being parallel to AD this time, I'm going to draw a line. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. I see I accidentally clicked a little bit early. I'm going to draw a line from A parallel to BC. To roughly there. Of course we knew BC was 6 centimeters, not sure where I rubbed that out at some stage. There's my 6 centimeter line here. These two are parallel. So we've got a parallelogram there. Of course it's 5 centimeters all the way across, which leaves us with 3 centimeters left for D. Let's call that point F. So I can find angle D. I'm given the three sides. Cosine rule will get me there, won't it? So let's have a go. 6 squared equals 4 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 4 times 3 multiplied by the cosine of D. A little bit of trickery and rearranging. 16 and 9, I'm pretty sure we can get to 25 from that. 8 by 3 is 24. Cosine D, subtracting 25, and I have 11 equals negative 24 cosine D. Divide by negative 24, and I've got negative 11 over 24 equals the cosine of D. The negative might be worrying you a little bit. What does it mean if we've got a negative value for cosine? Let's have a quick think about our unit circle. Oh, a negative value for cosine happens in the second and third quadrants, because remember, cosine are the values that I read off my x-axis. So a negative value, what does that mean? It's going to be an obtuse angle. So when I drew my triangle, I assumed that it was going to be that sort of shape. In actual fact, it ends up looking a little bit like this. 5, 8, 6, and 4. It's not a parallelogram. These aren't equal, so it's still a trapezium, just one pair of parallel sides. That's okay. Doesn't stop us from being able to calculate that value. It just means it's going to be an obtuse angle. Okay, so we go ahead and we do the inverse of the cosine function, which is, of course, arc cos of negative 11 over 24. That looked like pi, because for some reason I wanted to join it together. Let's try and make my writing at least semi-legible. Negative 11 over 24 equals D, and we go back to our calculator to calculate that one, don't we? So go shift arc cos bracket negative 11 over 24, close bracket, and we've got 117.3, but it's said to the nearest degree, so we can have D is approximately equal to 117 degrees. A, of course, is supplementary with that, co-interior, so 180 minus 117, A is approximately 63 degrees. And we've got the angles there. That was a pretty tricky question. I hope that helps. Once you've seen it, you should be able to remember that as a technique you might need to use some other time. All right, good luck, guys. Cheers.